Welcome to the studios of News World. My name is Osun ADc, and today we have somebody who is a major strength in a particular political party in Nigeria. And our focus today is on Osun State. I'll be having some discussions around what we expect in the coming elections in Osun State. But before I go on, I want him to be able to do his introduction of himself and definitely the major people in the party. So you're welcome, sir. May we know you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Honorable Osun ADc.
Okay.
I'm the spokesman, a former member of the State House of Assembly. I'm currently the spokesman of Osun ADC Gubernatorial Campaign Council.
Okay.
The coming Osun governorship election in August this year.
All right. Thank you very much. So that means that your governorship candidate will be Honorable Najim Folashayo.
Yes, right. Honorable Najim Folashayo Salam, the former Speaker of the State of Osun House of Assembly.
Okay. Thank you very much. That'll be 2011 to 2015.
Yeah, 2011 to 2018.
So 2018. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
2019.
All right, now, the point of call for today is basically a particular material which happens to be his plans for Osun State. But before we go into that, I want to say that the current governor that we have, the current government, under the leadership of Senator Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke, how would you adjudge his performance, his governance, on a scale of 0 to 10?
Well, considering the fact that the current governor of the state,
yes, sir,
Senator Nuruddin Jackson Ademola Adeleke, who incidentally is a brother.
Okay.
He came, he's from Ede, and I'm from Ede as well.
Wow.
But that notwithstanding, if we are to go by a fair assessment, all I can say about that is he's doing his best.
Okay.
That is his own best.
All right.
But that does not mean that it's another person's best.
Okay.
His own best may be where another person's own will start from. That is my own assessment. And further to that, there is no, because when we are saying a fair assessment, ordinarily there are supposed to be some indices to measure those assessments.
All right.
I'm not in possession, or I'm not aware of anything, maybe a written document, framework, or program that he came to office with. So that may be a bit difficult for me to mark the progress recorded against those things that he put down as his own plan. But like I said, he's doing his own best.
Okay, like the kind of a manifesto that we're here to discuss from the ADC.
Yes, there is no published or any documented agenda.
Okay. All right then. If he had been doing well to your expectations, does it mean that you would not even have a reason to want to run from your own party, ADC?
I don't understand.
Now, you're saying that he's doing his possible best.
Yes.
But if that is his own best, it is not another person's best.
Yes, exactly.
So are you insinuating that your own candidate has a better approach to governance, which is the reason why you're running, or you're just running for the sake of running?
I'm not even insinuating. Okay. I'm certain.
Okay.
I'm very certain that the Osun of today,
yes, sir,
as things stands today, across not even the three major political parties, all other parties, and this is something that you can check on your own. Right Honorable Najim Salam, and by extension the ADC, has something more credible, something more organized, and something more visionary than any other party or any other candidates to offer the state.
Is that a fact?
I'm very certain about it.
Okay.
And the facts speak for themselves.
What are the facts?
Yes, the first fact is, number one is pedigree. Yes. Number two is experience. Then number three is vision. And the vision lies in the manifesto which he put forward. And he has been going around, we have been moving around, and he has been speaking from the point of those manifestos. And I will appreciate even if we take maybe one or two looks at the contents of the manifesto.
We will get there. We will definitely get there. Now, going on, I found out that amongst the candidates published by INEC,
Yes.
he's the only one with a PhD. And I found out that his PhD was based on Nigerian federalism. That on one side. There is a challenge that we've had around meritocracy against political patronage, which is where there are people who are capable of getting things done, but because some people have been aligned with those people who call loyalists,
Yes.
we now give them offices that they are not deserving or they cannot serve well at or give them maximum.
Yes.
So, what are you going to say that we should expect from the governance of Honorable Najim Folasha Salam should he become the governor of Osun State? Will he be also giving out offices to his loyalists, or will he be finding ways to make sure that it is actually people who can deliver that will be handling those positions?
Yeah, thank you. I think when you ask me about the fact that what are those things, I mentioned certain in this, and first of it was, I said, his pedigree.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he served as the Speaker of Osun House of Assembly for 8 good years. And one thing, yes, I joined the House. I was elected into the House during his second term as the Speaker.
Okay.
One thing that endeared him more to me personally was his preference for merit.
Okay.
Yes, his preference for merit, because being the Speaker is the chairman of the House Selection Committee. And I want to tell you, the facts are still there. During his tenure as the Speaker, the first thing that came to play before appointing people into various committee positions was his preference, consideration for merit. This person, what did he study? What was his area of competence? And so many other factors. And that was why he was able to come up with the best of arrangement. And that was why he was able to score first in the issue of Osun House of Assembly. Nobody has been able to achieve so much the way he did.
Is that a fact?
Yes, in fact, I have more than enough facts to point into that. Number one, the House was relatively stable and there was a complete atmosphere of peace throughout the 8-year tenure. Number two, if you consider some of the programs of the then governor Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, the projects were so enormous that it was even a kind of very big challenge to the legislative arm of the government, because the more the executive performs, the more you are required to carry out your own oversight too. So hardly would a week or a month pass without the House receiving so many oversight reports throughout the 8-year tenure. The facts are there. There's something we call the House Answered. It's a document that belongs to the Parliament. You can fact check some of these things there.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola.
Yes.
And there have been some discussions in various quarters that our immediate past president, that is late General Muhammadu
Buhari, yes.
After he left office and the present president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, took over, he had been saying that they will continue from where Buhari had stopped. And that sentence seems to be plaguing the situations around the country today, because it is believed in certain quarters that President Buhari did not perform well. And the performance of President Tinubu, being said ahead of time that will continue from where it has been, is actually being truthful according to some quarters, and that the performances have not been great. Now, in the foreword of the manifesto of Honorable Najim Folasha Salam, the second paragraph says, and I quote now, "Osun has witnessed moments of bold leadership and reform, particularly under the administration of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, whose strides in infrastructure, youth empowerment, and education demonstrated that purposeful governance can transform lives."
Yeah.
Now, I want to look at the area of education. knowing fully well that Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola was in the APC at the time.
Yes.
And the governor that took over from him, who is currently the Minister of Blue Marines, that's Mr. Boyega Oyetola.
Yeah.
Under him, the educational reforms that were made under Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola were repealed, which were also supported by some international organizations. And from the forward saying that a bold leadership reform, and that will be continued upon. Are you saying that the educational reform that was repealed, which several other organizations felt were good to be repealed, they were not good enough? Are you saying that you're going to rebuild that? Are you saying that you're going to continue on that track?
Can you please just remind me some of those areas that were repealed by Oyetola so that I will know how to just delve into the specifics?
There were the issue of the classification of schools. Where you had some schools merging together. We had situations where the school uniforms had to become one. We had situations where we now had the primary schools. We had the 6334, then that was changed. There were policies that we're supposed to work with, but we found out that we're not working on. And these international organizations work together with the state government to make sure that those things were reversed.
Well, personally, thank you. Personally, when it comes to educational development of Ogbeni or educational reforms of Ogbeni, whichever one we may call it, I wouldn't want us to narrow this thing to just certain areas.
Okay.
Yeah, when you talk about this, we start with what I will refer to not even the construction of classrooms, but creation of learning environment.
All right.
Because for any other thing to thrive educationally, the environment has to be conducive in the first instance. I think the boldest of all the, because what permits me to just branch a bit. What really happens is a kind of difference between someone with a very bold vision and someone whose vision is, let me say, restricted or very narrow. Because in the first instance, you can't, we are in a studio now. You can't just arrange one or two chairs and say, oh, you have created a studio. The environment has to be very conducive in terms of functionality, in terms of even the sustainability aspect of it. Then in terms of quality of the programs, at least the acoustic arrangement, the furnishing, so you have to create an environment suitable for a purpose first. And I think that was the first thing Ogbeni did. Let's create a learning environment, which now led to classification of those schools into elementary, then the middle school, then the high schools. And mind you, it was not even that Ogbeni just woke up and said, okay, today Osun is going through this also route when it comes to education. It was as a result of a summit where people who are stakeholders in the education sector came up together, and a lot of them, they resolved on this idea before it was decided to be acted upon by the then government. So number one, there was creation of learning environments. We are not even talking about that. Go to the primary schools today that were referred to as elementary schools. Then, at least there are certain things put into consideration before even they came up with the design. That is one. Two, the elementary schools. When you have a school, a lot of factors determines what you will put down as facilities. The middle schools, they are for which age grade to which age grade. You understand me? But then before you now know how many students in a particular classroom, then the furnishing arrangement, then the nature of facilities to be there. Then the high schools. And if you look at it, the elementary schools, they were bungalows, one floor. The middle schools, for people in between the elementary school age and the high school age, they were just 2 floors, ground and first floor. Then the high schools, ground, first and second floor. Even just look at that schematic arrangement when it comes to the infrastructure aspect of this education reform. So what I'm trying to say here is we should not narrow everything that happened in this sector to the issue of the same school uniform and what else. And even at that, yes, there's nothing wrong in trying to make an improvement on something. Nothing is perfect. We are human beings. Right. It was expected from someone like me. For someone like me, it was expected from Oyetola then that, okay, this social area are the things that we need to correct in this social sector. Instead of now trying to make the entire arrangement useless.
But I think it was from recommendations from various think tanks. It was not just that he just made a decision.
Well, I'm not aware of maybe whether there was any conference, workshop, or summit to that effect. But all I knew then was that the then Commissioner for Education, under Oyetola, Honorable Folon Shoba Mijayemi, was the chairman House Committee on Education. House Committee on Education for 8 good years of Ogbeni. So if this thing has been a very bad policy then, I think the best channel for people to have known that was through the office of the chairman House Committee on Education then.
Thank you very much. That is why I will now go back. I will go back to that question I asked initially.
Yes.
Around the concept of meritocracy versus political patronage.
Yes.
Could it be that some people may have been picked up to work with the governor or with the government based on political patronage?
Which of the governors or which of the governments?
Whether the first one, the one Aregbesola ran, or the one Oyetola ran.
No, what I'm trying to say here, in the parliament then, under Right Honorable Najim Falashayo Salam, the then chairman of House Committee on Education, which was not even a kind of appointment. I told you how you used to be merit conscious.
Yes.
It was not even a kind of, it's a statutory duty. I was the chairman of House Committee on Lands. Then, you understand me? So it was not an appointment by executive, and it was not influenced by anybody or anything. The first thing that came into play on this for any sound mind that is a presiding officer is the merit, your competence. You understand me? So it was then Governor Oyetola that would know what he saw that now that made him to decide to still make the same person that was chairman House Committee on Education for 8 years, his own commissioner for education. Honestly, if you ask me, it would have been a very good choice. It would have been a very, very good choice because this was someone who has traversed the length and breadth of the educational sector to now, as a lawmaker, to now come as a policymaker.
But what if you consider the fact that he may not have performed well enough? Would he have still been good to be in that position of a commissioner of education?
Performed in what capacity? Is it
as the House Committee member on education?
Yes.
The chairman House Committee on Education for 8 years. And if we feel that maybe by whatever indices we may have judged it, if we had judged him to have not performed, would he have been good to still serve as a commissioner of education in the next government?
I think only former Governor Oyetola can answer that question.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So moving on. I want to jump to that number 4, which is where we have on your manifesto, which is education. The first one says reintroduction of the school feeding program.
Yes.
Are you saying that the school feeding program stopped? Or is there something around it that is not right? Because the last time we checked, it was also running under this current government.
Well, there's this popular saying in Yoruba that
all right.
Who conceived that idea? Who initiated the idea? It was Ogbeni's idea.
Okay.
I think the best thing would have been that, okay, how are these things done then? That's now made this a kind of a very good score point for the then government. And you can see, since Ogbeni left the school feeding program, it has not been the same.
How so?
Yes. The purpose, the major intent of this, apart from creating a kind of a healthy feeding program for the children, it was also a kind of empowerment that has a kind of chain effect, especially from the farmers that will supply this, from the vendors that will do this, from this, even up to the drivers that will help the vendors to transport whatever they are going to take to the schools. But since then, me personally have not been aware of the effect, that positive effect that the policy had in the economic sector then. I've not had the same feeling since the then government of Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola. And I'm not even aware of the presence of it in this current government at all.
Well, I think the spokesperson of the government made a very clear information about that publicly, that it had to be stopped because of these financial issues around the local government. And they had it running before then.
That's why I said there is no way you can execute a particular idea like the initiator.
So with the current situation in Osun State now,
yeah,
how would your government fund that?
Yes. If you look at it, one, who is the leader of our party, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola?
All right.
This thing, have we done it before? Yes. Did it succeed? Absolutely yes. Were we involved? Absolutely yes. Because apart from just saying these things on the surface, just mouthing it, it still requires some kind of a disposition and zeal to ensure its success.
Please, before you go on, sir, you go on, you're saying that you ran it then, but note that your Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola government made a lot of borrowings, and the current government is paying back.
That's another issue entirely. It has nothing to do with this school feeding program.
But it's still the budget of the house.
See, education has its own budget.
Okay.
Let me even take you to this.
All right, sir.
One of the most popular social intervention program of Ogbeni was the OES.
All right.
OES ran for that 8 years concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
Did any OES person complain of not being paid? Where was the money from? So it's about a particular, about your disposition, your interest in a particular sector. So borrowing to execute a project is not the same as borrowing to service a social intervention program.
Okay.
So it's another issue entirely. It's a separate issue entirely.
All right then. Okay. Now, still moving on the same education.
And mind you, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Even the then borrowing that people were saying they borrowed. People were not told that there has been repayments even by the federal government, especially those that were used on federal government to execute the federal
Please
government.
enlighten us on that, sir.
Yes, I have facts.
Please share with us.
Yes. I think 2021 or 2020 or 2021, it was the then Speaker of House of Reps that even made the announcement on the floor of the House of Reps in Abuja, that the federal government has decided to make repayment to some states. You can check this.
Okay.
You understand me? Yes. I think Osun, Rivers, or Cross River, Osun and 2 other states, certain billions of naira were paid back on some of the projects executed on behalf of federal government.
Wow, that'll be very interesting.
Yes, you can check it.
So moving on, you talked about bursary and scholarship awards to tertiary students.
Yes, it's possible.
And personally, it's something that I personally love.
Thank you.
Because I remember so well that Governor Kwakwanso in Kano State did something like that some years ago.
Yes. And
I was opportune to be in a forum where one of the people, the beneficiaries, was actually talking about how the governor that would be Governor Ganduje, took that system off.
Yeah.
And many of them were stranded.
Yeah.
He was able to be bringing in trucks of pepper from the north to sell down south here while he was having his university education at Ibadan.
Through the bush.
And some of them got stranded and he could not continue again. Yeah. Now, how do you intend to run such a thing in this, should you have the governance now? Yeah. How would you run it so that even if you leave government afterwards, it will still not affect the people or the students that are beneficiaries?
Well, thank you. I think on that, it will be a combination of your own physical effort, and let me say you deploy some spiritual means to it. Spiritual means in the sense that you pray that whosoever that will succeed you, especially when you know that you are leaving behind some lofty ideas, should be the person that will share the same mindset with you. Because if we have to go by a bitter experience of the past, just imagine it. If even just take these social intervention programs of Ogbeni alone, if they have been sustained by the person that succeeded in, where would have Osun been today? If the whole mill is running the way it was running under Ogbeni, if the OES is running in the same way, just those 2 items alone.
We have Imoleko.
You say what?
We have Imoleko.
It's not the same as OES. It's not the same as OMIL. That is Imoleko. Not the same as how many are there? How many were the people engaged for Imoleko? we are talking of 20,000 youths. And they will do that. Someone gave me a testimony last week. I was on a program like this, and I told him that some people started their life through this OES program of 18. And it was a confession from someone that came to me that, see, whatever you are doing, the moment you say, okay, you are no longer with Ogbeni, I will never be with you again. I said, what? I said, she and her husband, they started life with this OES program of 18 before the husband later got a government employment. And that's where you are meeting me now. We started the entire thing with this OES. So look at the effect of this. Now imagine that, okay, within that 8 years, I think about 80,000 youths of Osun have been the major beneficiaries. Now consider this after another 8 years. That would be over 100,000.
All right.
But one thing is to have a vision. Another is to have a successor that will share the same mindset and vision with you. Thank
you very much, Honorable Osun ADc.
Thank you.
I'm happy to know that you are the spokesperson of Osun ADC Gubernatorial Campaign Council. And you're here to speak on the manifesto of the ADC in Osun State. Now, going back to the first item on that manifesto, it says workers' welfare and accountable leadership. We have seen over the times when a lot of candidates and politicians will make all sorts of campaign promises, and they now talk about workers' salaries. In your own view, sir, do you think it's something that should be a point of campaign that we are paying salaries?
It should not be.
So why are we having it in your manifesto?
If you look at it, very prompt salary and pension payment. Not just workers, prompt salary and pension payment.
My question is is he even supposed to make it to any manifesto?
Yeah, exactly. Prompt. Look, see, the word prompt, bolded, underlined.
Is it not supposed to be a normal thing?
It's supposed to be a normal thing. Payment of salary is supposed to be a normal thing.
So why are we making a big deal out of it?
Wait now. Meaning what? You may decide to pay salary, but it may not be promptly.
On time.
You understand me? So prompt payment of salary and pension. You understand me? That means you are trying to make a kind of commitment. You are trying to sign a kind of bond that, okay, under this arrangement. And that promptness can now be expanded to the way and manner you think. But the issue is you have set a target for yourself. Okay. As far as that is concerned, that come rain, come shine, under whatsoever condition, this thing has to be done, it has to be abided with. And in addition to that, it's not even just about the payment of the salaries alone.
All right.
It's about the salary being what a salary should be. Yeah.
Our current minimum wage is at 70,000. The current government put at 75 in Osun State.
In Osun,
so what are your plans around that, sir?
Well, one thing about this, if you look at this from Agenda 1 to Agenda 10,
yes,
we stated everything. And if you look at the back page, we even put the implementation plan.
Okay.
But one thing we didn't include the implementation strategies.
Thank you.
And we will not do that until when we.
That was what I was going to ask about, the fact that it doesn't look robust enough. But then I think that is fair.
No, this is robust enough. Even see, let's even take this. Have you ever come across something like this from any other parties, either the current government?
That is the reason you're the first that have been invited on this issue.
Thank you very much.
And we're happy that you're here to discuss this with us.
Take note of this. We included our implementation plan.
All right, thank you very much. The second item there is agriculture.
Agriculture, yes.
What have you seen on the current government agricultural plan or package that you intend to make better with what you have in your manifesto?
Honestly, and in fairness to them, I have not even seen anything substantial that the current government has done as far as agriculture is concerned.
We heard about some tractors.
Yes, we heard about it. Where are they?
I'm trying
Where
to
are
ask
the tractors?
So I was asking you about what you intend to get better in agriculture according to the plan of the ADC based on this manifesto and what we have on ground with the current government. So what are your thoughts about that?
And I said, I think I gave a brief reply that as far as agric is concerned, that have you even seen anything substantial on the part of the current government? You mentioned the tractors.
Yes.
Yeah, and I asked that you said you heard about tractors, and I said, have you seen any? One thing is to hear about something. Another is to see. Another to even see them in operation. Mind you, the purpose of procuring tractors, the purpose of procuring and distributing fertilizers to farmers is to achieve what? To boost food production for the state.
Okay.
And I want to tell you this, no government since the time of Abakonde has never come without procuring tractors and distributing fertilizers. That's over 20 years ago. Look at it. Has that achieved the purpose?
Are you saying they've been wasting money?
I'm not saying they have been wasting money, but it has not achieved the purpose. It has not achieved the purpose of buying those tractors, distributing fertilizers to farmers.
For food production.
Had it been the purpose have been achieved, I think the food output, the food production of should have even, in fact, be more sufficient.
Okay, let's go to what you have.
That is why we are saying, okay, we are bringing in, we are taking farming, agriculture into another dimension.
All right.
And if you look at it, we position Osun to be food regional hub.
How?
That is not difficult. All you need to do is to encourage large-scale cultivation. Large-scale cultivation. And to encourage large-scale cultivation, it has to do with complete cycle of farming. That's including off-season farming. People only farm here during rainy season. Go to the north. That's not the situation. You get fresh corn throughout from January to December in the north. How? Because there is arrangement, there is provision for off-season farming. And by the special grace of God, the government of Right Honorable Najim Falasha Salam, we replicate that in Osun. Then we even talk about establishment of farm estates at the 3 senatorial districts. This is not also difficult as well. It only requires a kind of commitment and being visionary about what you have, what you intend to deliver. You understand me? So that is that. So everything you are seeing here, there are things that they are realizable, they are achievable within specific period of time.
So
and we even put a caveat that anything that cannot be achieved here, that you cannot see the outcome, in project management we call something deliverables. Anything that you cannot get the deliverables of it within the 70% of it within the first 3 years, they are not worth of being put here. And that is why we are saying, and we are confident that whatsoever you are seeing in the agenda, in the manifesto, there are things achievable.
On that your sentence, let us hop into the third one, which is security and territorial protection. And I want to call your attention to something.
Thank you.
The farming that happens in the north has been disturbed largely by cattle rearers. Now, and we've talked about this around security, which is the third point on your manifesto. How do you intend to bring security, community policing, surveillance system? Note that a lot of people have agitated for state policing, which the federal government has not finished or worked on it. Let me say like that the federal government has not finished the work on it. Now, how do you intend to bring community policing constitutionally?
Thank you very much. Number one, let me correct an impression. The farming in the north, this farmer and herders cattle problem that is now a major security threat in the north. It's not, let me say, it's not a static problem. It happens just in some section because ever before now, the farmers and the cattle rearers, they have been cohabiting and we've never had this kind of situation. So it's like a kind of spillover of the current security problem that the country is witnessing. And it's not just that alone. We have issue of insurgency, we have this issue of banditry, we have this issue of kidnapping and all manners of crime. Crime is now an industry in Nigeria. You understand me? And that is why, yes, coming to our own security agenda, one thing, I want to let you understand something. There has never been, security is exhibited in just two major, how do I put it? Two major means. The policy and the strategy. As of today, Osun does not have a security policy.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact. If you are aware of any, or if you know any that, this is security policy of Osun, just you can educate me. I sound to be educated. Nigeria during the government of Jonathan, former President Jonathan, came up with this idea of national security policy, national security strategy, which is to be reviewed every 5 years. It was done in 2014. And no, yes, it was done in 2014, no, 2015, then 2019. 5 years after, we're supposed to have had a review of another security strategy in 2023 or 2024, which has not been done by the current government of achievable. And mind you, security is something that is evolving. It doesn't stay in a place, just like crime. When Jonathan came up with this idea of national security strategy, there was nothing like cyber crime then. They only focus on this Boko Haram and terrorism. But now we have cyber crime, you have kidnapping, you have insurgency. That is the reason why you don't have to be static when it comes to security. And that is why we are now saying, okay, by the special grace of God, under the government of Najim Folasha Salam in Osun, there will be security policy, which will focus on 5 major areas. And let me mention the areas to you. 1, internal and external security. Osun is a landlocked state. The security in Osun should not be the same. You should not be given the same approach with the security in Ondo. Although Ondo has upland, midland, and riverine. You understand me? So internal and external security, that is 1. Number 2, part of our security policy will be crime prevention through non-kinetic approach.
How?
You don't wait till, if you ask me how you want me to review the strategies, because I mentioned security policy and
You can give us
security
peripherally, not in depth.
Wait. Are you aware that even this, there is a particular item that since we mentioned it, others have been copying it. They have been copying and pasting and doing this. So that is why we want to just limit ourselves to those areas that we consider that should be known to the public, but will not go into the details or the specifics. So the number 2 is crime prevention through non-kinetic approach. That one, let me just open just like 1 page out of 100 for you. You don't wait till a crime happens or an incident happens before you. There are ways that you can even prevent crime from happening at all. You identify the black or the red spots, no matter how you want to categorize them. Then you know who is responsible for what and at where. Then you know what to do. I will not go into the details of that.
Fair enough.
Number 3, health and environmental security. Right now, there are certain activities going on in Osun that if care is not taken in the next 5-10 years, they will become major security threat to the survivor, both the security of lives and property and the well-being of the people. Health and environmental security, they form part of our security policies. Number 4, territorial protection. Osun share borders with 5 different states: Ondo, Ogun, Kwara, Ekiti, and Oyo State. And the security challenge in Oyo State is not the same with the security situation in Ekiti State. So territorial protection will form part of our security policies. Whether after the completion of tenure of Iwaloye, after 8 years, by special grace of God, you will have established a policy that any successive government or person or administration will have to work on. That is number 4. Number 5 is collectivity and inclusivity. Everybody will be involved collectively. The best form of security is to know your neighbor. So that is our security policy.
Thank you very much.
The strategy to achieve those policies,
you're keeping those. Now, let me take you back to something you said before. You're saying that you are trying to put up a policy that even after Iwaloye is done, they'll be able to proceed with that.
Yes.
But remember, you said that when we're talking about education, that when some things have been done, that you are only praying.
Yeah.
But you're not talking about prayer now. You said that we'll pray that the person coming will understand the vision and also keep it running. Yes. But you're not saying on this one that you put up policies.
Yes.
So which one do we follow out of the two?
I said the best thing after you have put up a policy then is to adopt both physical, political, and spiritual approach to it. So we still adopt that.
Is that not the essence of the rule of law?
What is the correlation between rule of law and the spiritual approach to a political successorship?
Well,
we are talking of
some people
how you are going to pray that God, this person, it's only God. We all believe we are religious people in Nigeria.
Okay.
We all believe that it's only God that put someone in a position. God anoints. You understand me? At the same time, you will still full of prayers that, God, we have been able to do this. Please, let this person too has the zeal, because we've suffered that kind of
ordeal before
in the ugly past. You understand me? Where we work together with someone for 8 good years, and coming up, you know the result. We don't have to go into that.
Thank you very much.
So the security policies will be established, and by special grace of God, they will back with the instruments of legislation.
Finally, on security, assuming that Honorable Najim Folashayo Salam was the governor of Oyo State right now.
Governor of Oyo State or Osun State?
That's why I said assuming.
Okay.
That he happened to be the governor of Oyo State at the moment.
Okay.
What would you think he would have done differently from what Governor Seyi Makinde is doing?
You want me to reveal strategy indirectly? And I will not do that.
Whichever ways, just give us an idea of something that he could have done better.
You still indirectly want me to reveal a strategy indirectly.
All right, moving on. Let's go to infrastructure and power then. That'll be the 5th point on your agenda.
Yeah.
We believe so strongly that the issue of infrastructure and power is a big one.
Definitely.
And some states, or let me say one part, Abia State has been able to do something on electricity. They had to work with their gencos and distribution companies and all that, and they now have the kind of power that is not general to the whole of Nigeria now.
Yes.
And in your manifesto, the 5th item there talks about power. And the first point there says that the establishment of 213 megawatts.
300. It was
a typographical. Okay.
Yes,
313
megawatts. Yeah.
300.
Yes,
300.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are expecting 300 megawatts alternative power plant system, each at the 3 senatorial districts. That will make 900 megawatts. How is that going to be made possible? Knowing fully well that at least we know that Abia State has been able to do something.
Yes, let me appreciate you for taking me into this one. As much as I would have loved to provide the details of this, I will still try and restrict myself. You know why?
Why?
Ever since Right Honorable Najim Salam mentioned this, it has become the major point of sale for other parties. They've been copying it. There's nowhere you will go. They will start to tell you about electricity. Even to the point that someone that did not even include this thing in his own manifesto, when he launched his manifesto on 1st of May, that is Bola Oyebamiji of APC. He didn't even mention anything about power at all. And we hear that any moment from now, he will want to launch Osun strategy power agenda of a thing. Well, we have come out from our own hand, and we made the public to understand that you are embarking on agenda theft, that you have stolen our agenda, and that will not be good. That is not even good enough. It's not supposed to be part of characteristics of a serious person that wants to lead a state.
So are you saying
that on that?
Are you saying that if he emerged as the governor of Osun State, you will not be able to give him your template to make sure that the entire state enjoys electricity?
He came up with his own agenda. It was tagged Prosper. And I even said it, and I'm still saying it, that agenda was AI generated agenda. Prosper, they just told ChatGPT to bring up something from Prosper. And if you study it very well, because I watched the presentation, I watched it from beginning to the end. There was nowhere a mention was made of electricity generation. The only part of it was a statement made by their DG of campaign, that is Honorable Walioke, and even that statement was more of a political statement than a policy statement. He said it that in the National Assembly, they have passed the 2023 Electricity Act. So people should now blame the current governor of Osun if there is no light in the state. What? I wouldn't want to use a kind of a derogatory word. Now,
thank you for that.
As far as this is concerned, we have the plan. This thing rests on just 2 things: the legal framework and the technical requirements. The legal framework we rely on the 2023 Electricity Act passed by the National Assembly. And in saying that, not that we are just saying the act, we have studied the act, And through our understanding of that, we know this thing is implementable and realizable, because what does it require? One, for the state to have the intention, you have to put up a legislation. By the House of Assembly will legislate on the need for the states to have the means to generate their own electricity. Number two, by Section 66 of the Act, then you establish the regulatory authority for the electricity generation. That is for the state. Then item number three is to notify the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. That is just it. So I was even surprised, or it even sounded funny to my understanding, when I learned that the current House of Assembly has passed Osun electricity generation. But I wouldn't want to go into that their own aspect, because that if the bill has been passed as far back as August 2025, as they claimed, what are those things? What are the steps that has been taken further in order to ensure that Osun has started generating its own electricity? And that's why we are saying that, okay, yes, if we have this situation, we know what we are doing, and we are very serious about it. We have the legal framework, we have the technical requirement. The legal framework as stated in the 2023 elections, and the technical requirement as expected of us. And that was what brought about this idea of 300 megawatts
per
in 3 senatorial districts.
Thank you very much, sir. So the second part of that thing talks about infrastructure. And one of them that caught my attention is the rehabilitation and construction of at least 10-kilometer roads per local government.
Yeah.
And I remember so well that China used to have one of the smallest road networks in the world.
Okay.
As far back as 1986, 1988. Yeah. But somebody came up in charge of leadership and said, okay, they will make a certain amount of miles per year. Yeah. And that's what they've been having. And now they have the largest network. And you're saying that you do 10-kilometer roads per local government. I believe so strongly that you would have seen the works that the current government has done on roads. How do you intend to now achieve 10 kilometers per road? I do not want to I don't want to say a particular number of kilometers as what I think it is that the current government has done. But if you do 10 kilometers road per local government, and it means you're talking about 320 kilometers, how is that going to be achievable?
320 kilometers, if you put it as at a stretch on a straight line, is more than Osogbo to Lagos. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
That means putting 10 kilometers per local government is still a big deal infrastructure-wise, because you are not going to concentrate just on either the township or rural roads, depending on the priority of each of the local governments. Some may choose rural roads, some may choose their township road. But we started this discussion with the assessment of the performance of this government. I think that was where we started from.
Yes.
And in all honesty, as much as I wouldn't want to delve into what, I told you that my own understanding is they are doing their best. Okay. That is their best. But if you look at this thing that we are even branding as the major achievement in infrastructure, then certain questions will be agitating our mind, especially from the people that knows and people that understand how things should be.
Okay.
Because before you decide to put down a project, there's something we call prioritization. You have to prioritize the project.
All right.
You understand me? And before you prioritize the project, certain factors will have come into play. The population, the connectivity, the purpose, the usefulness. I told some people something. We don't need as much as 3, 4, 5 flyovers in Osogbo. For what?
Are you not thinking it will be futuristic in approach?
Futuristic in terms of what?
Of the need of the people in the nearest future.
No. When you look at it, transportation is a very complex thing. Okay. It's not restricted to just movement of vehicles, and it has to incorporate movement of goods, movement of human beings, then both human and vehicular traffic. Everything going on at the same time without one disturbing the other. Then are we saying that, okay, Osun will continue to be in this kind of enveloped situation? There may be need to even expand later. There may be need to create rail networks later. Okay. There are some places that we are putting, flyovers now. That what we just need there is underpass. You put an underpass, then there will be movement of vehicles both at the upper and the lower part of the road. without one disturbing the other. So, but that is, I don't know the kind of design they put in place before they come with this.
All right. For the sake of time, for the sake of time, let us have what you have for health. That's the number 7. What are your plans? Because I can see primary care centers. I know some things have been going on from the current government, and I want you to talk about free health care for children from ages 1 to 18, upgrade of the existing. All you have for us in health.
Yeah, before we even go into that, thank you so much. Before we even go, Devin, there's this particular area that I would like to call the attention of people to.
Okay.
And that is even the current situation of Oshogbo as the capital city of Osun.
All right.
You understand me? You know the kind of look that Oshogbo was wearing 7-8 years ago during the government of Ogbeni Rauf.
What was that?
No. Let me just finish painting this. And you know the kind of look the state capital is wearing now. You see garbages everywhere. You see grasses growing by the side of the road medians.
Are you saying it wasn't there during Aregbesola?
Yeah, it was never like that at all. Because there were things put in place to ensure. One thing is to spend resources to put up an infrastructure. Another is to have a kind of mechanism to ensure its durability. You understand me? And durability will be ensured through what? Constant maintenance. You understand? Okay. So on that, I think the current government has not even done well at all when it comes to how to keep Osun, to maintain that status, Oshogbo, to maintain that status of a befitting state capital territory. Right. There are garbages everywhere. I went to the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park. I can see some distortions, the this, the that. Well, that is their best.
Over to health, sir.
Over to health. Well, we have put down a lot of the free antenatal program, revamp and upgrade of 332 primary health centers. You know, that's 332 health centers have been one of the major contending issues between the current government and the government of Oyetola.
In what way, sir?
Yes. You will see this one laying claim to the upgrading and renovation of this, and another one will be claiming the same achievement. I was like, oh, is this the best? Is this their limit?
But has it really been upgraded?
I don't only is either Accord or
I
APC.
feel by the time we are putting this together, you may have done your own word round to see what is happening.
If they have been upgraded, we wouldn't have included them in our own.
So you believe it's not upgraded?
We believe, even if they said they have done anything at all, not up to standard of being called an upgrade.
All right, for the sake of time, I have a challenge here personally.
Okay.
It's a personal sentiment.
Okay.
There is the concept of people with disabilities,
yes,
and those with special needs.
Yes.
I didn't see anything for them in this health package. So I want to ask, has there been any way you have reached out to the people with disabilities? Do you even know the clusters they have? What are the preparations for them on health?
Thank you very much. If you've been following our campaigns, there's one apology that our candidate, Right Honorable Najim Folashayo Salam, used to make, that, one thing was omitted here under this item, and that is the provision for people with disability. He will say it. I can make the videos available to you, that it was an omission in this item. But even before he starts to say anything about health at all, it will make specific reference to that the people living with disability in Osun, they will have their own share of government. And through what? Number one, these people were denied one fundamental thing.
What is that?
Access to some of our public buildings. A person living with disability cannot voluntarily, individually access. So it will be part of.
I think those have been put into the laws right now. There is the disability law in Osun State.
Okay.
That is actually supposed to cater for that.
A section has been
for the building. In fact, I believe that there is a provision for already existing buildings.
Yes.
To have some time to make sure that they upgrade them to accessible buildings.
And has it been operational? Because
I believe that there is a time frame they are given to upgrade, while the new ones are supposed to be totally accessible. I think that is in the disability.
Well, I'll be very glad to see some of those things in the real and the practical terms.
Okay.
But coming back to the question, the our candidate, Right Honorable Najim Folashayo Salam, he used to be very, very specific about the conditions and what the government intends to do.
All right, sir.
For people living with disability.
Before I leave
and
that place,
take that from me.
Yes.
And mind you, I even forgot to mention something
All right,
on
sir.
this. Sorry to take you back on the infrastructure aspect of it. Yeah, this 10-kilometer road of a thing were even done because one thing I used to tell people is this thing. Most of these things you are seeing here, are they practicable? Yes, they were things that has been done before, that we have done before. The 10-kilometer road per local government were executed by the then government of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, despite the very scarce resources then. And no local government throughout the length and breadth of Osun can deny that.
Okay. As I wrap up on this, I think I heard that Honorable Najim Salam lost his father while he was still barely 2 years old.
Yeah,
and
he
his
grew
mother
up as an orphan, yes.
While he was
6 years old or something.
All right. My question there is, what has he done? Being a public person, public office holder for quite some time, what has he done? What are the basic things you can point out he has done for children who are orphans and women who are widows?
Well, thank you. I think he personally is the one in best position that I can tell you, because no matter what I'll be telling you, there were things that I was told, not things that I knew.
Okay.
You understand me? But let me just give you a pointer. If someone is loved by the old, the young, the this, the elderly, the this, the that, especially in his hometown, in his home base, then you will have known that certain things are working for him. It's not him that went to people that say, oh, please give me this kind of love, give me this kind of affection. You understand me?
Yes,
so
sir.
it must have been a result of certain actions taken by him. You can go to the streets of Ejigbo, you understand me, and just ask about him.
So has he just been focused on his hometown alone?
Based on this, I'm talking based on this. All of us were a product of a particular setup, which is the family.
But he's a person who has attained the highest seat in the House of Assembly in the land.
Well, if you ask me this, the number of years he has spent as an individual, far outstretch the number of years he has spent as a speaker. Maybe he has been doing this since when he was even a young person. Only him can go into the details of that.
All right, finally, what are the things he had done before he was in politics?
Well, I think he started his politics at the grassroots level.
Has there not been anything he did, maybe businesses, career, any other thing?
He doesn't even hide it. He will tell you that he is a farmer.
Okay.
He is a farmer and a successful farmer.
All right.
You understand me? And apart from that, if someone is a farmer and let me say luck and fortune smiles at him and able to reach one of the zenith of academic achievement by being a PhD holder in political science, that means both physically and mentally, he's not a lazy person. Thank
you very much. It's been a wonderful one with you, Honorable Nurain Adebisi, the spokesperson of Osun ADc Gubernatorial Campaign Council. It's been awesome having you around. It's been good hearing from you.
Thank you very much.
And I will believe that you enjoy the best of luck on your race towards the governorship.
Thank you very much.
And to everyone watching us from wherever, this is Civicless from News World. And my name is Tubosun Olabomi. See you next time.